This school year has been radically different from any school year before.
When the pandemic hit, a lot of the students and their families were struggling and even to provide that consistent income, and without that consistent income, they were losing their homes. In addition to that, some of the students were losing their family members because of COVID.
At the beginning of the school year, there were students who were not logging on to online learning at all. Students whose families we had not heard from, that school year. We hadn't even heard from them at the end of last school year. More than ever, I needed to be here for my students this year. Everything that we do is for the kids. We figure out ways to envelop them in support, not just them, but their families as well, to make sure that they know that there's people who support them, who care for them and their families here at school.
One family was living in a hotel and we didn't even know when they had no job, so we were able to provide them their first month rent and their down payment for their home. Once they got into that stable environment, the parents were able to get a job, and then the student was logging on because they had their own room, they had their own bed, and it just worked positively for that family.
I've done some school-wide activities to engage students, so incentivizing attendance, offering weekly attendance competitions, and doing virtual field trips to museums, to zoos in the local area to try to encourage students to come to school.
I do a lot of home visits. I love home visits. It gives me a chance to see where my students are coming from, to get to meet their families. Last year, I probably met only 25% of my parents on my caseload, and this year I probably met 75% of the families on my caseload. Them actually seeing someone come from campus gives them that sense of hope.
It was really important for me to try to engage them and make them feel warm and welcomed on campus by doing air high fives or giving air hugs or elbow bumps to show them that I'm excited to see them and happy that they're here at school. Kids having that individualized support in turn leads to them having a better attitude and mindset towards school. All of my students are like rays of sunshine. Even on their bad days, right, they still have little moments of happiness, little moments of optimism. The students don't realize how resilient they are. They don't realize how adaptable they've been throughout this whole pandemic.
It's amazing to see how these students are progressing in such a short amount of time. They're in here, they're engaging, their grades are boosting drastically, and they're able to get that one-on-one support.
I also hope that students take away from this that they can do anything. If we can get through a pandemic together in one piece, then they can do and take on anything that life throws at them next.